Welcome back, listeners. Today we're taking our taste buds on a trip to Uzbekistan.
Mmm, delicious.
We're going to deep dive into a restaurant chain there called Beshqozon.
Sounds intriguing.
So get ready to discover, what makes it special.
Yeah, more than just like what's on the menu.
Exactly. So, Beshqozon, the name itself kind of jumps out at me. What's the story there?
Well, Beshqozon means 5 cauldrons,
Ah, okay.
and that connects right to their signature dish, plov.
Plov. All right, we'll get into that more, I'm sure. But first, let's rewind a bit. How'd this whole Beshqozon thing even get started?
It's a pretty cool story, actually. Goes back to the early 2000s in Tashkent, the capital.
Okay.
This group of chefs, they were like super passionate about Uzbek cuisine,
Real culinary patriots.
Yeah, exactly. And they had this mission, like they wanted to preserve the tradition of Uzbek plov.
So it was more than just, opening a restaurant, it sounds like.
Definitely. They saw plov as this like cultural treasure, centuries of history, right? And they felt it needed to be, shared and celebrated. But not just like the old way. They wanted to like take it up a notch.
Elevate the Plov experience.
Yeah, make it something really special.
All right, that's an ambitious goal. But how'd they go from a small group to like a whole restaurant chain?
Well, their dedication to, quality and authenticity, it really resonated with people.
Word of mouth, probably.
Totally. So they opened their first spot in Tashkent, and from there, things just like took off.
Give me some numbers. How much did they actually grow?
So today, get this, Beshqozon has over 20 locations across Uzbekistan.
Whoa, that's impressive.
And not just there. They've even got branches internationally, like in Kazakhstan.
So they're going global. Clearly, they've hit on something that people love beyond just Uzbekistan's borders.
Oh, absolutely. It shows that, good food that tells a story, connects with everyone.
Food with a narrative, that's a great way to put it. But managing all those locations, that's got to be like a huge operation.
Oh, it is. They have over 500 employees.
500? Wow. Talk about a culinary army.
Right. Think about it. Sourcing ingredients, training chefs, making sure every dish is perfect across all those locations. It's like a massive undertaking.
A well-oiled machine, it sounds like.
For sure. And it's paying off, too. Their estimated annual turnover is somewhere between $5 and $7 million.
Okay, now those are some serious Plov profits. Clearly, they're doing something right. So enough teasing. Let's get to the heart of the matter. What kind of Plov are we talking about here?
You might be surprised to learn that plov isn't just like one thing. It's got all these regional variations, each with its own unique story.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So it's like a Plov tour of Uzbekistan.
Yeah, exactly. Like you've got your classic Tashkent plov, right? It's that like quintessential plov experience, tender lamb, fluffy rice, those vibrant carrots, and a blend of spices.
Sounds amazing. How much damage to the wallet for that culinary masterpiece?
Only $5 a serving.
Wow, $5 for an authentic Plov experience. That's pretty incredible.
It is. It shows they want everyone to be able to try it, to experience their heritage.
I love that. But the culinary adventure doesn't end there, does it?
Nope. If you're up for something a little different, there's the Samarkand plov.
Samarkand Plov. Okay, tell me more.
It's got those beautiful yellow carrots that Samarkand is known for. And it's got a bit of a sweeter flavor profile.
Interesting. Sweet Plov, huh? How much for that regional twist?
Just $1 more, $6.
Wow, so for just a few dollars, you can like travel through the flavors of Uzbekistan. That's amazing. But what about those of us who, prefer plant-based options?
Beshqozon's got that covered too. They've got a vegetarian plov with dried fruits, veggies, and spices, all for about $4.50.
All right, so they've really thought of everything, but plov's not the only thing on the menu, right?
Of course not. To like round out the experience, they've got other traditional Uzbek dishes, all super affordable. Like you can get chuchvara soup. It's a hearty meat dumpling soup for only $3.
Sounds like comfort food.
It is. And they've got like a bunch of traditional salads too, bursting with fresh flavors. Those are between $2 and $3.
Okay, so a full-on Uzbek feast. But what's the thinking behind offering all these extra dishes besides just variety?
Well, it's a smart move, Plov's amazing, but maybe not everyone wants it every single time.
Yeah.
So having other options means they appeal to like a wider crowd.
Yeah, makes sense. Families, groups of friends, they can all find something they love. But what about the atmosphere? Is it just about the food, or do they go beyond that?
Well, that's where the 5 cauldrons really come into play. But to really get into that, let's imagine ourselves stepping into a Beshqozon restaurant. You ready for a little sensory journey?
Oh, lead the way. I'm ready to be transported.
Okay, so you walk in, right, and immediately you're surrounded by this warmth. Traditional Uzbek decor everywhere.
Okay, I'm picturing it. What do I see?
Well, there are intricate textiles on the walls and these colorful ceramics, like hand-painted, catching your eye.
Hmm.
And then there's the light. It's all soft and warm from these beautiful ornate lanterns.
Sounds like a feast for the eyes, even before the food arrives. What about the sounds?
Ah, the music.
Hmm.
Traditional Uzbek instruments filling the air with these, like, enchanting melodies.
Wow, so it's more than just a meal, it's a full-on cultural immersion.
Exactly. Beshqozon has, like, totally mastered the art of creating an experience. It's not just about eating, it's about, like, being transported.
Okay, now I'm even more intrigued about those 5 cauldrons. How do they tie into this immersive experience?
Well, for that, you'll have to wait for part 2 of our deep dive.
Oh, come on, don't leave us hanging. But I guess our listeners will just have to wait with bated breath.
They won't be disappointed, I promise.
I have a feeling they're already dreaming of Plov and Uzbek music.
And those cauldrons?
Yeah, the mysterious cauldrons. Until next time, listeners, keep those taste buds adventurous. All right, welcome back, everyone. Last time we were left kind of hanging, right? Those 5 cauldrons of Beshqozon, they're still a mystery.
We'll get ready to solve it. Because
Okay.
these cauldrons, they're not just a name. They're like the heart of the whole operation.
Okay, I'm all ears. Lay it on me.
So picture this. You walk into the Beshqozon kitchen, and the air is just filled with this amazing smell of spices.
Oh, yeah, I can practically smell it now.
And right there, in the center, are 5 massive cauldrons.
Yeah.
Bubbling away, steaming, like a culinary orchestra.
5, huh? That seems like a lot of cauldrons. Why 5 specifically?
It's all about the plov. Remember,
Yeah.
each cauldron's dedicated to a different type.
Right.
One for the classic Tashkent, one for Samarkand, and so on.
Ah, okay. Keeps those flavors separate.
Exactly. But don't think like ancient, old-school cauldrons passed down through generations or anything.
Oh.
I mean, they're inspired by tradition for sure, but these are like high-tech, modern cauldrons.
Ah, so they can handle the volume.
Exactly. Commercial grade,
Yeah.
got to keep up with the demand and make sure that quality is consistent.
Smart. So tradition meets technology. That seems to be a theme with Beshqozon. But speaking of tradition, I gotta ask, what's so special about cooking klov in a cauldron anyway?
It's all about the layering. See, first you render the lamb fat right in the cauldron.
Okay.
It creates this like rich base for everything else. Then come the onions, caramelized till they're golden.
Mm-hmm.
Then the meat, the spices, and finally the rice. And it all just like simmers together. Those flavors, they meld and intensify.
Sounds like a slow, delicious process.
Oh, it is. And you got to manage the heat just right so the rice cooks evenly and doesn't burn. And as it simmers, this golden crust forms on the bottom. It's called tadik.
Toddy!
Yeah, it's like a delicacy, a sign of a true plov master.
Right, note to self, gotta try the tadig. But it's not just about the food, right? Beshqozon, it's about the whole experience, the atmosphere.
Absolutely. It's like stepping into Uzbekistan itself.
We talked about the decor earlier. Give me some more details. Paint me a picture.
Okay, so imagine these walls covered in Suzani, these hand-embroidered textiles, lots of floral patterns, really vibrant. And then there are these hand-painted ceramics everywhere, each piece like a work of art. And the light, it comes from these gorgeous lanterns, creates this like magical glow.
So you're surrounded by beauty, basically.
Yeah, from every angle.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the music. You'll hear the doyraya, this traditional frame drum. It's got this like upbeat tempo, creates a real festive vibe.
So not just background music, it adds to the atmosphere.
Definitely. And then sometimes you'll hear the timbre. It's the long-necked lute, kind of melancholic sound, adds a different layer to the experience.
It's like they've thought of everything to create this immersive experience.
They really have. But, it's not just about like putting on a show. There's a lot of strategy behind their success too.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. How have they managed to like grow so much but still stay true to their roots?
Well, for one thing, they've got this system down pat. Efficient production, even with so many dishes, so many customers.
So they can handle the volume without sacrificing quality?
Exactly. They've probably streamlined everything, prepping ingredients, cooking times, everything optimized.
Makes sense.
And they must have great training programs too. Everyone from the chefs to the servers knows exactly what they're doing.
So it's like a well-oiled machine.
For sure. And their marketing is clever too. They've built this strong brand focused on authenticity, quality, Uzbek heritage.
Yeah, the name Beshqozon itself, it just screams tradition.
Right. And they use social media really well to tell their story. Show off the food, the atmosphere, the passion, connects with people all over the world.
Smart move. So they're taking this ancient tradition and sharing it globally using modern tools.
Yep, and it's working. Their success, it shows that authenticity resonates with people. But it's interesting. This model, it can work for other cuisines too.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about before. Imagine like a world tour of restaurants, each one offering this immersive experience.
Exactly. But it's not like a simple thing to pull off. There are definitely challenges to consider.
Okay, let's dive into that a bit. What are some things to keep in mind if you're going to try to replicate this? All right, so back to those culinary dreams. We were talking about, replicating that Beshkazan magic, but for other cuisines.
Yeah, taking that immersive dining experience and like applying it to different cultures.
It's a cool idea, right? But we both agreed it's not exactly a piece of cake.
Definitely not. I mean, you can't just like copy the decor and the music and call it a day.
Exactly. It's got to be deeper than that. So what would you say are like the key ingredients to make this work?
Passion, for sure. Like the folks who started Beshqozon, they had this like burning desire to share their culture.
Can't just be about the money then.
No way. It's got to
Oh.
come from a place of like real love and respect. Otherwise, it just feels, I don't know, fake.
Yeah, people can spot that a mile away. What else is important?
Attention to detail, big time.
Mm.
Everything's got to be on point,
Mm.
like sourcing authentic ingredients, even if it's
Yeah.
harder.
No trouble.
Nope. And the cooking methods got to be traditional too, even if it means getting special equipment or like training people specifically.
Right, you can't just like throw it in a microwave and call it authentic Uzbek plov, right?
Exactly. And then there's the whole immersive experience too. Can't forget that.
Yeah, the ambiance, the music, even the stories the staff tell, right? It all adds up.
It's like engaging all the senses,
Like,
taking people on a journey.
Find a cultural journey through food.
Exactly. But, got to be careful too. Make sure it's all done respectfully.
Yeah, that's a good point. How do you like ensure cultural sensitivity, especially if you're, presenting a culture that's not your own?
Humility, for one, and a lot of research, honestly. Talk to people from that culture, get their input, make sure you're not, like, misrepresenting anything or perpetuating stereotypes.
Right, because that could backfire big time.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a balancing act,
Mm.
honoring the culture, but also making it accessible and enjoyable for a wider audience.
Definitely a challenge. But if you get it right, it sounds like this model could be really impactful.
Oh, totally. Imagine, like, restaurants showcasing cuisines from indigenous cultures or, like, parts of the world that don't get a lot of culinary attention.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. A way to like preserve those traditions and introduce people to new flavors and experiences.
Exactly. It could benefit everyone involved.
Yeah.
The restaurant owners, the diners, and the cultures being represented.
Okay, so we've talked about the ingredients, the challenges. But at the end of the day, what really makes a restaurant successful?
The people, hands down.
Yeah, of course. The chefs, the servers, everyone who works there.
They're the ones who bring the whole thing to life. Their passion, their hospitality makes all the difference. Turns a meal into a memory.
Well said. And this deep dive, it's definitely been memorable. Those cauldrons, that plov, the whole Beshkazan story. I'm definitely hungry now.
Me too.
Mm.
But more than that, I think it shows how powerful food is, right? To connect us to different cultures, give us these amazing experiences.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. Imagine if you were to open a restaurant showcasing your heritage, your culture.
What would it be like? What stories would your food tell?
What kind of ambiance would you create? What would transport people to your cultural heartland?
Think about it. The flavors, the traditions, the music, the art. How would you share it all with the world?
And we want to hear your ideas, so share them in the comments below.
Yeah, let's keep the conversation going.
And until next time, listeners, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those taste buds adventurous.
Happy eating, everyone!